me back on.
There we go.
Okay, so we apologize to anybody who might have been watching. We got bumped off, but now we're back live, so continue.
Yeah, so I don't know where we left off, but my question was, in phase one, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Well, four actual.
4.
The
Okay,
fifth one is general maintenance, which is
Okay.
everything that goes wrong.
so,
Contingency fund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but if you get to, I don't know, I can't do the math that quickly in my head, but you come up with $383,000. Would you repair and rebuild the church lantern first and then go to the second bullet point and continue down until there isn't any more money?
Now, unfortunately, we can't do that because in order to deal with the bell tower, you've got to take the lantern off.
Okay,
So it's a structural issue. We're coordinating it. Payments are such that we will be paying it out in parcels out through the end of the year. So we have the year to collect on pledges and to continue to secure more pledges or donations.
and then my other question was, given the fact that the community of Bennington, and you can extend that as far out as you need to, is using the church for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
A bond might be another way to at least address 100K of it, 200, I don't know, I can't structure the bond in my head, but if you put it out to enough people, it comes to pennies on the dollar in terms of getting a bond passed.
Yes.
Just a thought.
Good.
Irene, you got a question?
Yeah, that open church idea was mentioned. I don't know if that means you're open 9 to 5 on Monday through Friday or what, but do you have a collection box where a tourist can
Yes.
drop
Oh,
money?
yes.
Yes, and in fact, we've added an iPad with ability for people.
Venmo.
That's usually all.
Yeah.
That's very important. So what's your take on an average year?
Between 10 and 12,000, maybe 15,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's okay.
But that was prior to having the Venmo type option.
Okay.
Or something else. In terms of hours, it's something like 10 to 4 or 10 to 5, and it's 7 days a week, once we get going.
Good.
It's a lot of pressure on
Sure.
our volunteers,
Absolutely.
but it's worth it, and it's the kind of thing you get energized. People are, they're
Oh, it's fun to meet
interested, you're
people.
talking,
Of course,
it's
yes.
great, it's meeting people and it's making connections.
You don't have to have an Airbnb, you can just go volunteer at your church for an hour or two, meet new people and.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also half of the volunteers are not members of the church.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's very much community based. That's one of the things that is, I think, important to recognize.
Did you have more slides that you want?
No, just, you truly are being trustees of this property, which is wonderful. You're taking care of it. Did you say, just a question about the slate roof, did you say that there's a way to do it with 40% less slate?
Yeah. What they do is normally slate roofs are 3 layers thick.
Uh-huh,
And the reason to do that is to put 2 layers over each splice. But if you put a bottom layer of high density, high molecular weight
Okay.
polyethylene with high carbon black, which by the way, we've used that telephone and power cables for close to 80 years. So we have 80 years of history.
oh yeah, HDP, yeah, I know.
And so we
Okay.
can put that underneath first, and then you only have to put 2 layers down.
So
That's
it's only
great.
decorative slate, basically, you're not looking to protect the roof.
You're protecting it, but you're not having to double protect it.
Right, okay.
But the thing is, this was never available before.
Right.
That's why you would put down the CDX, 1/2 inch CDX plywood first, because that protects the original roofing material, which we do not want to disturb. Because at some point in the future, someone may want to go and do something with that. These are beams and cross pieces that were put in with handmade nails, or in many cases, the corners are attached with wooden pegs.
And really big trees
Wow.
too.
Yeah.
And then just one other thing, would the town support, assuming it's a town sewer system, would the town chip in for that and make
Sincerely
that less
doubt that
expensive?
we can ask. And we, at the other meeting, they suggested we should ask the town for a grant as well.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
And that's an interesting, because we do bring a lot of tourism into
Sure.
town. I think, yeah,
And
we're number
business,
2
you said,
on
yeah.
things to do in Bennington.
yeah,
You know, that brings a lot of people, and
sure,
as
That could be a bonding opportunity if it was attacked through that.
yes.
Yes,
But
Marcy.
they're actually number 2 in the state for the most
That's right.
estimates
David Sheets told us that.
Really?
This building is number one and the Bennington Monument and that area is number
Yeah.
two.
It's number two.
And there's recreations there, a lot of people, I can't tell you how many people don't get married there, but they take their wedding pictures there.
Oh, that's funny.
We need to
Start
put box out
charging them.
front.
Yeah, there's
But that's an example of the kinds of things that happen,
Yeah.
as an open church, there's a lot of activity that goes on there.
That's great.
So this committee, has, probably not the money for you, but it has avenues to money. There are just some historic things. What we will usually do is we had a group in here earlier in the year, it happened to be a cemetery and a historic wall. And we were able to put a think tank together amongst the committee. I'm glad that Brett Morrissey's here as well, because her House counterpart committee is the same committee, just it's the House version. And there are some historic monies. I mean, we're gonna have some, maybe we'll have some conversations with Laura Trishman and some other folks. We'll put our heads together like we did last time and make some connections for you folks. And you know, you've got a great history. You have a great story. You know, at the end of the day, I'd like to say, hey, let's write them a check. But that's not the way it works. We have you, you're in here for a lot of the reasons, for a lot of the right reasons, but one of the reasons is that people within the building that we serve with on both sides of the aisles have asked us that we have you come in, and I think we're gonna put some effort to this and see what we can find you. See what we can do. I mean, we have, you know, some different grants, that go on through within the capital bill, but I think a lot of it might be, we hopefully will be able to find you some monies in the capital bill or outside the capital bill. But we're willing to put the effort in for sure.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
If I may,
Yeah.
thank you. Are you on the National Registry of Historic Places?
Yes,
Have you got federal grants? Have you applied for federal grants?
We
This is
have
a part of the.
We're
That's
beginning
what- that's
a
what we're-
fund for sacred places, which is the National Trust. But Mary can
That's what
speak.
we spoke about that, and we're going to try to get an earmark from our congressional delegation.
Okay, so I keep
That's
pursuing
one
that.
half
That'd be
we
great.
were.
This is a national story.
And we may try to look into something for tourism. I also found possibly human services for the handicapped accessible, maybe a grant there.
Sure.
And we were wondering, Alice mentioned possibly transportation, but that may be a little iffy. But we'll try any agency we can get.
I think it's probably, Brett Morrissey, as you're very familiar with how we go through this process, I think it's probably, you know, those $300,000, those $150,000 grants.
Good,
You know,
keep adding them.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, we can certainly check with those, and I know you guys will on your side, we'll work on our side as well. And, yeah, and just put our heads together and,
Right, it should be a team effort. So
Absolutely.
So we're not all going.
no, absolutely, we will report back with one another and, you know, we'll talk with Laura Trishman. We're gonna have a conversation with Laura Trishman. We're actually making the arrangements next week, and we're gonna hold her over and we're gonna put a pitch into her. And see where her ideas come from, and so we'll keep the presentation and can you make sure that we get those slides in that presentation?
Yeah, I can.
We're on our webpage, okay,
All
great.
right, thank you.
And so we'll put a pitch into her as well, and
Would they be able to get a copy of what was done here today? Is there a tape?
yes, absolutely, yeah,
So
yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
And if you have any questions about how to get there, Linda can help you get there. Anytime you guys, all you gotta do is reach out, you know, Senator Sears and Senator Campion. You know, we're very helpful as far as getting new folks here, and but if, you know, you don't have to go through them, you can reach out to us.
One quick question.
Yes, sir.
We did put together a packet of information, of copies of all the quotes that we've got
Yeah,
and the reports from Jan Lewandowski and so forth. I can leave that with.
please do that. Yes, absolutely, please, that would be very, very helpful.
Because
And,
we did our homework up front.
well, you can tell that.
You can-
Yeah.
Do you have a card so that they've got contact.
Yeah, we'll make sure you have that, so. But unless there's anything else, I think we're gonna,
Thank
move
you.
on and, no,
Thank you so
no,
much.
no, the thank you is all, listen, the thank you is always to you folks. We're here, to serve the public, and that's what we're here for, and, we appreciate you coming in, and it's a great presentation, there's certainly a great need, there's a great history, and, hopefully we can, find a way to help.